Sit. Good. I always have him sit and wait before I send him over. He's very distracted by bugs and things like that. Hey, Riley, look up here. But at least after these last few days of being with me, he's finally starting to get into the groove. He's feeling safe, so he'll actually take food from me most of the time now. So you have him sit first, and then he's going to be on your left. With your right hand, you pat his chest and say, go to your mat. And you walk over with him and say, down. And you can still do this little thing where you put the food there and kind of lure him down. He just started being able to do this a couple of days ago. It took a few days for him to feel safe enough to do this. He's only been here 4 days or 5 days. And he's a very sweet, sensitive dog that's also lacking in confidence. So we always need to go very slow with all the dogs when we're starting out, but especially dogs that are extra super sensitive. We want to make sure that we don't do anything too much too soon that will spook him, and then we actually lose ground. So we always start out real easy, make sure that he feels safe. And he's getting we're using this Natural Balance sausage. This is the lamb flavor he really likes. And just making sure that he stays down there. Good. And you just want to do little things like kind of walk around him, test his downstay. He's doing pretty good for only being here for a few days. Good. He gets a reward if he stays down. And I always evenly do it on both sides because you want him used to being able to handle you going on either side of him and walking behind him. That builds confidence, builds focus, because he has to focus and concentrate to stay in a downstay, even though he's on the mat and he's getting rewards. Look, Riley, right here. Good. And obviously he has a problem with lack of focus, but every day that you do this, you'll see that his focus on you on this mat becomes more intense. Hey, right here. See how I'm luring him back to pay attention? Good. Always put the reward on the mat. Good. He has a separation anxiety issue. If he gets up like this, you say no. You want to step into him like this, do a little do-over circle, and then just step on the leash like that. And try to be fairly gentle with him because he's very sensitive. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure just to help him, just to give him the hint to collapse, because I want him to make the right choice and collapse like he is now. Good. And in the beginning, when we're first teaching this little exercise, you want to make sure that it's not the most important thing that he's straight. What's important that he chose to go back there. He got up. I said no. I put him back. He chose to go back there. Now we're doing the exercise again. Good. And he's just not that hungry. Even though I've been trying to feed him mostly on the mat, he's just one of those dogs that takes a while for him to get hungry, and he's always a little bit on edge. He will change over the next coming weeks when you do this, but we're still just in the beginning stages of this. But he's waiting now for me to allow him, okay, to get up. And I'm just going to reset him and do it a little bit more. Okay. Sit. Good. Go to your mat. Down. If he doesn't go straight down, you want to reinforce that. Just a little bit of pressure there. Right here. So he's going to have to turn his body to get that reward there. And just no. That's what you're going to do. You say no. You don't say S. You don't say D-O-W-N again. You just say it one time in the very beginning. Good. And then that needs to hold for the whole time, because if you're repeating commands, he's going to not take you seriously. If you say less and you make sure that after doing it, saying it one time, that you have a way, and you do have a way to gently but firmly reinforce these commands. You only say everything once, and then if he doesn't do it, you make sure he goes back there. He'll just start knowing that the first time you told him to do it means it, and that there's no way around it. Good. Plus, doing this little game the way that we're doing it, no, is fun for him. There's nothing bad about this. It's not torture to just lay there on that comfortable mat, hey, right here, and receive nice tasting treats. And it is helping us with his focus, and you can tell he needs some help with his focus. Every little fly and bug that comes around, he notices it. Hey, right here, you need to keep bringing him back, putting the reward there. I would recommend feeding him on the mat mostly, and then like at the end of the day, then you give him a bowl of his kibble to make sure he got enough. But the more motivated that he is to do this, the faster he's going to learn, the more focus he's going to develop quicker. All I said was no. I stepped into him, did a little do-over circle. You saw exactly how I did that. Stepped on the leash. I'm not forcing him. I'm not jerking and popping him because he's a real sensitive dog and you wouldn't want to do that anyway. I'm just helping him make the right choice. A little bit of pressure on the leash. When he collapses, because we're in the early stages of him learning this, when he collapses, he gets a reward for making the right choice, and then we continue the exercise. He needs to know it goes the same way every time. And usually within a week to 10 days, practicing this every day, the dog really just gets it. It's the way it is. And loves to do this exercise because it's work for him, and it's a way to get paid with food, of course. So if you're standing here for a while and there's no response, you could tighten up a little bit more by just stepping on the leash a little bit farther there, so there's a little bit more tension until he decides that it's going to be more comfortable just to settle in, and then he gets a reward. So why wouldn't he want to start doing that right away? If he knows you're going to have to go through this anyway and he ends up there anyway, he's just actually perpetuating not getting a treat. There's workers out there, there's somebody moving with a moving van, there's noise, so of course he's distracted by that. In general, you want to have his head there. You're technically on his right, he's on your left, so you don't want to let him get behind you. Good. So he chose to collapse. He got some food there. He's eating it. You know, he's he's in distraction mode, so he took it in his mouth and he spit it out. You may have seen that before. Flies. Nope. Hey, Riley. So let me just finish this because I think that I've shown you everything. Okay. Do your little do-over circle. Step on that leash, make sure he goes back there. This only goes one way here. His elbows actually have to be touching the mat before it's considered a down. Okay, he gets his treats here, which he obviously doesn't care about. I think he's a little bit spooked by the street noises, but that's okay, this is real life. And then before he chooses to get up again, I'm gonna show him, okay, that's the way you leave, and then sit. Good. Make sure that he always, when you bring him off the mat, he's not free yet. You bring him off the mat and he sits, and everything ends with a calm sit stay. It starts, as you saw me do a couple of times. The calm sit stay, I allow him to go on the mat. When you allow him off out of his down stay, it ends with a calm sit stay, or else you're going to have him launching off the mat and taking off, and it's going to destroy the benefits of a down stay. So we don't do that anymore. We don't just allow the dog out of a down stay and run off. He's still on the clock till he sits. He waits until you pat his chest. Go. Now he's free. That's the way to end it. Every day you do this, even if it's 5 minutes a day, you'll give him a little bit more focus, a little bit more calmness. It'll start to take over his life. Now he can sniff the flowers or whatever he wants to do.